Chris Hahn is here. The aggressive progressive. Nice smile. Appreciate it. Reasons Dems are souring on Mr. Biden. Age, 33%. Job performance, 32%. And it goes down from there. President meets with the Mexican president tomorrow, then heads overseas to Israel and Saudi Arabia. What is the danger for an American president heading overseas, as unpopular as he is at home?
None, because he's going to be president for 2.5 more years. And foreign leaders understand that he's got to be president for 2.5 more years. So his poll numbers at home don't even matter to anybody. Look, they're worse than Obama's were at this time, but Obama got reelected. And if you look deeper into that poll, he beats the presumptive Republican nominee. The only thing less popular than Joe Biden is Donald Trump.
I guess that's the point. I was with some people of your political persuasion this weekend, and all they could talk about was how bad Donald Trump is in the January 6th commission. You can't beat somebody with nobody. Effectively in 2020, Mr. Biden was nobody. He was the empty vessel that was not Donald Trump. Can you run that when you are once again the empty vessel that is not Donald Trump, but things are really terrible over the past 4 years?
Well, things would have to remain terrible for 2.5 more years.
You think they're going to get better?
I think they are. Quite frankly, gas prices are coming down. They've come down every day for the last 28 days. Unemployment is way down. Things are going to get better. We've got to get COVID more under control than it is and stop the disruptions to supply chains. I think that's starting to show up. But, look, if you want to root for America to be in the same place it is right now, 2.5 years from now, go ahead, good luck. But I find it hard to believe it's going to be. And then, of course, you've got to beat the president with somebody or whoever the Democrats put up, quite frankly. And seeing what's come from the Republican Party lately, look at the Senate candidates. You talked about it earlier in the show. They pick the worst people possible. The Democrats are going to pick up 2 seats in the United States Senate this year when they should be losing 4.
You've been on that bandwagon for a while, and we didn't probably see it in the same way until earlier this weekend as we began talking about it. I'm still going back to the president going overseas, right? Politics stop at the water's edge. At least they used to. They don't anymore.
They do.
July 13th through 16th, Israel and Saudi Arabia. But I'm thinking when he's meeting with Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, when he's meeting with the prime minister in Israel, he doesn't have the same kind of clout if he was walking over there with a 55% domestic approval rating, does he?
He's the president of the United States with 2.5 years left on his term, and a man who's been in public life for 50 years. Look, they can ignore him if they want, but good luck surviving the next 2.5 years without the United States support. So I think especially, look, I think both of these countries need to work with the United States of America. And right now that means working with Joe Biden, just like they had to work with Donald Trump for 4 years, whether they liked him, thought he was popular or not. Look, we're very divided as a country. I don't think we're ever going to be in a place, at least in the near term, where a president from any political party will get more than 50% approval. In fact, I think 50% will be very hard for any president. But, these foreign leaders need to look past that and need to deal with this in a way that benefits their country. And I think that will benefit Joe Biden when negotiating with them. I don't think Joe Biden is going to care too much about the polls. I think in his mind, he knows what he's going to do in 2024, and I'm not so sure he's going to run.
Yeah, well, you are among a majority of Democrats now who are either not sure or don't want him to. Chris, it's good to see you as always. Thank you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.